Tenacious defense everywhere, pressing defense everywhere. Lots of man-to-man mixed up with some zone. I think we can just expect to see another exciting 16 minutes of hoops.
Northern comes out with Craig Baum.
Oh my! Kate's going up the guard, taking it away from Jody Smith.
I was saying I was trying to reset the lineups for Northern. Snyder, Kriegbaum, Smith, Bobby Wright, and David Baer for High, Cates, Miller, Van Williams, Carl Williams, and Paul Harrington.
1-2-2. Zone defense by Northern. Nice penetration that job by Carl Williams. Can't get the bucket to fall. But Van Williams doing a nice job on the glass. Ties it up. Big red basketball.
Well, Jody Smith thought that Van was over his back there, but that was a good call by the referee to call the jump ball.
Looks like Jim Hurley's told his team they need. Oh, big shot, Paul Harrington.
Harrington, who started the ball game and didn't see much action in the second quarter, starts the third quarter and hits the three to pull Boyer High within one.
Where did that come from? I haven't seen that out of Paul Harrington all season.
Bobby Wright from 10 short. Cates, nice save.
Oh, good call by the referee. Not a good sign, though, that time for Northern. On that shot, there were 4 big reds under the glass. There wasn't a husky to be seen. I think that Coach Dan Hatton has made a wise time out here. I think his team's come out a bit sluggish here in the second half.
Well, Dan Hatton, with only 59 seconds gone in the third quarter, used up one of his timeouts. I think also he's going to point to, David, is that last shot by Bobby Wright, he had Kriegbaum wide open at the free throw line extended, and Bobby took the shot. I think the better shot would have been to dish it off to Jeff. Jeff was clapping his hands wide open. That was right in front of Coach Dan Hatton and Coach Bates, and I think that's another reason why they called a timeout.
Well, something that I don't think we pointed out in the first half is that there usually was a post player who was open in the paint for Northern in the first half. However, they're not looking to get the ball inside, I think, because what they perceive to be a big size disadvantage, afraid that they're going to get the ball swatted away if they get it inside. You're right, Randy. That's probably the reason that Coach Hatton took the timeout. You've got to get the ball inside if it's open.
It's going to be interesting, though, even though I think it was a good timeout to reset things. It's, in a tight game such as this, they've only got 1 timeout left now, and they've got, 15 minutes to play. 2 left?
They've got 2 left. Zone D by board here on High. Oh, you got to take that shot if you're Schneider.
Snyder,
nice rebound.
I'd say any of you young people watching the ball game out there, you got to learn to follow your shot as Troy Snyder did. It's easy to teach. He does a fine job.
I don't think a good decision that time by Tony Miller. Should have brought the ball back out. He did not have control the whole time and tried to make a tough spin shot. Oh, nice flash by Kriegbaum.
That's the play I was talking about earlier that Bobby Wright passed up. Jeff was wide open. He was wide open that time. They got it to him and he made the basket.
Kriegbaum can nail that every time, too. Very good shooter from inside 10 feet. And actually a very good shooter from inside 15 to 18. A good look.
Van Williams on the turnaround. Can't get it to go. Rebound Snyder of Northern.
2 excellent looks that time by High. Just couldn't get it to go.
Oh, blocked by Miller. What a rejection that time by Tony Miller. 2 shots up by High, out of bounds. High. That was a little bit too theatrical even for me, David, on the one, but High still retains possession.
Tony Miller playing a little bit out of control right now. He's a very good player when he plays within his limitations. Not doing that so far here in the second half.
Brady Nelson checks back in for Coach Dan Hatton. And that's going to go to Northern. That was off the hands of number 40, Paul Harrington. 5:37 to go in the third quarter. Northern by 3.
Harrington, the only one applying pressure. Everybody packed back in the paint.
Now, it's also interesting, David. Keith Cates started the ball game on Troy Snyder, but since Keith has 2 fouls, now he's on Jody Smith or an off guard.
Very interesting observation here. High is going man-to-man against Dave Bear. Zone everywhere else, playing the box and 1. They're going to let
Harrington for 3.
behind the line.
Bobby Wright, what a move.
Fantastic. There aren't many players of his size and stature who can make that cut through two men like that.
Just slithers through the lane. Nelson's tied up in traffic, wisely dishes it out to Bobby Wright.
Oh, tough shot.
How much arc did that shot have on it? As he sizzled it through the net.
Vinny Johnson would be proud of that shot.
And Coach Jim Early, as Poyer and I had cut it to 1, but Northern up by 5, 33-28. Calls a timeout.
Well, after the timeout, Dan Hatton got his team back into the offensive flow. They ran through their offense, got the ball inside of Greenbaum, who got the easy two, and after that, they seemed to settle down very well.
Well, this will give us a chance to talk about some of the other winter athletic events at Poyer High and Poyer Northern. Poyer Northern, under Coach Baker, has one of the finest wrestling teams in the state of Michigan. They won another tough one last night against Roseville to lead the MAC Red Division, led by Flurry and Alan Dickinson, posted a big win against Poyer Northern on top of the MAC Red Wrestling Division. In hockey, Poyer Northern and Poyer High enjoying fantastic seasons. Poyer High has played Northern twice so far this year to come up victorious, so the Big Reds have bragging rights as far as the hockey goes, but they'll meet again for a third time, probably in district action later on in the month of February. Again, our score, 33-28, Poyer Northern in the lead.
Nice defense that time by Jody Smith. Sticking his hand in. This is a dimension that Bobby Wright gives you. A big man who can bring the ball up the court, also set the offense.
I don't like to see Bobby out that high. His bread and butter is inside when he posts up.
There with a tough shot. Good call by the referee, Brady Nelson, knocking that ball out of bounds. Big defensive stop that time by Port Huron. If Northern scores a bucket, they've got a 7-point deficit midway through the third. So far this half, High just hasn't seemed to have been able to get into the offensive flow, but Keith Gaines remedies that very quickly with a nice drive to the hoop.
Keith, who had 7 unofficial points in the first half. Nelson's shot can't get it to go. Fight for the rebound underneath. Out of bounds to the Big Reds. But I'll tell you, Brady Nelson is just a fine shooter. He's just got to regain his composure. He's just been a little bit off here tonight. Only a junior, and again, this is, if you've never played in a game like this before, emotions run high. Such a fierce rivalry is Poyer High and Poyer Northern, but Coach Dan Hand has a lot of faith in young Brady Nelson.
Brady's a good shooter. I like to see him take the shots if they're open. I would start to worry if he starts to pull up on those.
And there's the sophomore that steps up big time game in and game out is Carl Williams.
Just a fantastic jump shot from 10 feet in the end. Very impressed with the skills of the sophomore.
We see Chris Smith and Ben Papanoff checked in. Nice block by Carl Williams. Look for the slam dunk. But he just lays it up and good. No way Nelson could catch him. And Poyer High, for the first time in the last 10 minutes, has the lead by 1, 34-33.
Keith Gates was pulling away from the defender that time. You don't usually see that. That's some kind of speed. That's a walk by Nelson.
And 32, John Dunkel checks in for Chris Smith.
Super idea that time by Nelson to go baseline. It was definitely there, but just wanted to move too quickly. Man-to-man, full court defense now. A great pass. Good power that time by Williams.
And
right. In and out. It doesn't get any closer than that.
And I tell you, the refs are doing a fine job trying to settle things down. They've really kept the game, I think, under control here tonight.
Definitely doing that. A great referee is a referee who you don't notice in the game, and so far we have not noticed these referees. Oh, Schroeder, big play.
Troy, just great anticipation on his part.
Oh, nice pass by Case, shredding the two people.
And Poyer and I, who had no trouble breaking the press in the first half, a little unsettled here once Northern slaps it on.
Well, right now they've got one of their guards taking the ball out of bounds. I don't like that move. I'd like to see him have one of the forwards take the ball out of bounds.
Keith Gates doesn't agree with the referee's decision, but it went off his foot out of bounds as Dave Bayer checks in for Ben Papanoff.
Well, let's see what kind of matchup problems this gives Port Huron High right now. Dave Bayer, who's been the critical ingredient this year for the Huskies. Let's see if they go to the box and one. Right now, they're going to play man-to-man. There's Bayer on the drive.
Bayer can't get in the goal, but the super sophomore rips it down.
Williams has played an outstanding ball game. He has not sat down since he came in the first quarter. What I really like tonight is that Gates better watch it. He's close to a technical right now.
The referee's just trying to settle him down. He doesn't want to let the game hinge on a technical foul either way. And again, I just can't say enough about the officials here tonight.
Absolutely. They haven't called a lot, but they haven't called a lot each way. It's been very consistent all the night through.
They let the players play, and again, the key word is consistency. I don't think either team has a gripe with either referee here tonight.
Absolutely.
Right from 15, in and out, rebound, Harrington. And the Northern fans thought Dunkel had blocked it, but John Dunkel, number 32, will be called on the foul, his second.
Dunkel definitely bodied up that time. Keith Gates knew he could take him to the hole, did so, drew the foul.
David, that's only the first foul on either team here in the third quarter.
What more can you say?
They're letting them play.
Gates has won problems through the years. It's been from the free throw line.
He gets one or two.
Oh, nice step by Wright.
Right for the tie. Bobby ties it up. 15 seconds to go. And Keith trying to take it upon himself. I think he's trying to do a little bit too much. But again, he got the foul. He'll go to the line.
Well, he's such an excellent player. You hate to say that he's doing too much because once again he drives and picks up the foul. There's not much you can say about it. I agree, Randy. I'd like to see him use Carl Williams a little bit more because I think the sophomore's just played a heck of a game, and he certainly has shown the ability to make a big shot.
Well, you can see when Carl runs down the court, he's got his hand up. He's wide open. He wants the ball, but they're just not looking for him. And again, I agree. I think that's a mistake you've got to use. He's devastating underneath, just like Bobby Wright is for Northern.
Somebody else who they haven't looked to so far in the last 5 minutes of this game has been Paul Harrington, too.
And it'll count if it goes. Well, that will not count even if it went. And Port Huron High, who trailed by 4 at the end of the half, comes back with a strong third quarter, leads by 1. 38-32 with 8 minutes to go in the ball game.
Randy, with 8 minutes to go, Northern trailing by a point. What more can we ask? This is exactly what we look for. I tell you what, though, what both teams have to do is be patient and run through their offense. Because whenever they've done that tonight, they've gotten an easy bucket, or at least an easy 12 to 15 footer, a wide open 12 to 15 footer. It's when they're playing hurried basketball, they try to make the one-on-one moves unless it's there when they are getting in trouble. So I really think that both teams have to just be patient, not worry about the clock, and play their game.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Again, you're high up by one. And this will probably could come down to the last shot, or we could be looking at an OT. And again, it's going to be a heartbreaking loss to whoever loses this game, since both teams have just played their hearts out here tonight.
Well, the one thing that both teams though can look forward to is that they are performing well under pressure, that they do have a lot of the season left, and that it's only one game.
But David, they just announced the 50-50 draw. You know you got a good crowd when the winning ticket pays over $300 on a 50-50 draw.
Very good crowd. Oh, tough shot by Schneider.
Troy can't get it to go. Carl Williams on the rebound.
Unofficially, that's 11 boards tonight for Carl Williams, doing an excellent job. Oh, just not a good pass that time by Harrington.
Snyder pushes it up much
for that. Everything was right there that time for Northern. Troy Schneider, one of the few times you'll see him make a bad pass. He threw it right on Dave Beer's foot.
That's the thing, he had it, he just needed to bounce it a little bit quicker.
Go clear out, let Miller take it on his own. Oh, nice roll by Williams.
Carl hammered underneath the hill shoot to a nice pick and roll by Poirier High.
Absolutely executed just like Isaiah Thomas and Bill Lambier for the Pistons in their heyday. Just a great job on the pick and roll. Right now you gotta wonder, Randy, what the fatigue factor is going to play in this. Northern's done a nice job substituting, but Poirier High is gone with the same 6 and 7 players the whole game. Williams has played, both Williams brothers have played virtually the whole game.
Well, you'll probably see a lot of free throw shot here, David, before this game's out.
It's going to be long. Good call.
It's unbelievable, David, but we've played 9 minutes here in the second half, and Poirier High, I was just going to say, Poirier High has not committed a foul as Van Williams gets whistled for one.
Full court, man-to-man. Schneider will have no trouble breaking that.
Nice post up. Oh! Count the basket. The foul's on Tony Miller. And again, to me, that's got to be Northern's bread and butter. Bobby can't be stopped when he's down in the low post like that.
No, absolutely. That time, the Poirier High defender tried to front him. Nice lob pass inside. Bobby maybe got away with a little bit of a shove, but great catch, great score.
Case checks back in for Harrington for Coach Jim Burley. Northern regains a lead by 1. Bobby tries to make it 2 and all net for the senior forward. Case a little bit out of control, gets his own rebound. Though nice dish pass into Miller. Tony Miller lays it up and in.
Nice job by Case that time not to lose his composure when he lost control of the ball. Wide open Miller for 2. Keith Case doing an excellent job keeping that ball alive after he lost control.
Maxey doing a fine defensive job there on Snyder. Miller goes coast to coast. Going to have a blocking foul, I believe, on 20, Jeff Krigbaum.
Good call by the referee, but I know Troy Schneider's calling right now. If that's a foul on this end, how come it wasn't a foul down on my end?
I've got to reverse myself. That foul was on Chris Smith, not Jeff Krigbaum. Northern's 4th. Not at 40. Tony trying to break the tie.
Tony, really?
We've been tied 7 times so far here tonight.
Well, Tony really struggling from the free throw line right now. 0 for 3 tonight. Finally a free throw shooter to be 1 for 4 on the evening. Well, I think you really got to look to get Dave Bear in the ball game right now. Give Port Huron High a lot of credit. They've done a nice job defending him. There's a man clear out for him now.
Nice dish.
Nice dish.
Didn't see it. It goes out of bounds. That was a nice dispatch by rebound to Smith, but Smith was looking for the rebound.
Oh, nice shot by Cates. Ooh, almost on offensive that time.
Cates puts it up, going to be well short air ball, but there's Williams underneath. Northern not blocking out. And I tell you, that always makes the point guard look good when you throw up an air ball. Your big man's underneath the grab. It looks like, I'm sure Keith would say he was trying to pass that ball that
Can we
time.
give an assist for that? People think the right got fouled that time. I like the no call. He definitely initiated the contact himself on the drive. The referees have definitely said tonight, if you initiate the contact, we're not going to call it. Ooh, Case definitely got away with the walk that time.
And the big man this time just can't corral it. Out of bounds to Northern. Jody Smith, who's got 2 fouls, checks back in for the Huskies. Jim Early uses his second timeout. 1 left for each team with 5:14 to go in the ballgame. 43-40, Port Huron High. Well, again, these two teams meet again at Port Huron High this time. 1 month from the date, Friday, March the 5th. Mark it on your calendar. We hope to see you out there. Again, if you go, come early or you will not get a seat. Another sellout. And again, that's a credit to the fans of the Blue Area for coming out to support both teams here tonight.
We definitely recommend that you be there by 6:15, no doubt about it. And in fact, you may want to be there at 6:15 because both teams are blessed with great junior varsity ball clubs. What an excellent ball game we had before the varsity game. Hard-fought game won by Northern as Chris Schock knocked down 2 free throws with I believe it was 4.6 seconds left in the ball game. And the Huskies ended up winning 64-63.
There was Chris Schock, a pressure player on the JV. I hear rumors he could be on the varsity, but they've got so much talent up here, he'll just have to wait his turn. But bright things ahead for both of these teams. They've got so many underclassmen that are such special ball players.
And as we pointed out earlier in the game, a lot of the underclassmen are up on the varsity already, so great big things coming here in Port Huron.
I think it's going to be a Ratchy. So you give Ratchy a lot of credit, though. I think since they made that switch and put Eric on it again, you don't expect a lot out of Eric offensively. He just does a fine job defensively for Coach Jim Early.
Boy, what a competitor he is. A tailback on the Port Huron High football team. Really a competitor, a real leader of this Big Red basketball team. Right now, Northern needs to get themselves a good shot. The last couple times down the floor, they have not had a good open shot. What I'd look to do this time is either clear out and let Wright take it to the hoop, or look for either Kriegbaum or Smith cutting to the paint.
Kriegbaum puts it up, all meant for Jeff. That's the deficit to 1. Oh, it's going to be interesting in the last 4.5 minutes. Who's going to be the leaders for both of these two teams? As Cates puts it up in and out, fight for the rebound. Controlled by Carl Williams. He puts it up, slaps it in off the glass, and good.
Carl Williams, what great hands for the sophomore. Right now, Schneider, the leader, has got to set up his team, keep them in the ball game. Northern getting real good motion in their offense right now. Keep the ball into right. He's posted up. Get the ball to right. There it is. He's got offensive, and that's a good call. Great defense by Carl Williams.
And Carl Williams agrees with it as he claps his hands, as do the Port Huron High fans. Bobby's second, no foul trouble there. Chris Smith checks in for Jody Smith.
Well, Bobby got him on his hip, but then when he made his drop his shoulder and try to go through Williams, that's a no-no. You gotta wind your way into the paint or on the baseline and get the bucket that way.
Also, Brady Nelson checks back in for the Huskies.
It's because they hold almost a 2-to-1 edge on the glass right now.
Bobby 0 for 2, rebound, Carl Williams.
Port Huron High now has got to be patient. Northern does not need to get carried away though with the defense. They just need to be tough, tenacious, don't overplay. Oh, nice move.
Miller got around Bear, loaded it up. A 7-point lead. And Northern's going to have to find some offense here.
There's no need to panic now.
Nice hands by Miller.
He wants to pull this ball up.
Going to go coast to coast, reverse slam, can't get it to go. I would have used some clock there, David.
Absolutely.
I'm really upset. Right now, Northern's got a big lead. They've got to use the clock. What a block there by Carl Williams over Brady Nelson. Brady never saw him from behind.
I think Tony Miller was thinking this is going to be the nail in the coffin layup.
Bill Bolazar checks in, a good shooter from the outside. Northern lacking some offense, so Bolazar can provide it, as does Ben Papanoff.
Tough position for Bolazar. Let's see how he reacts.
Nice pass inside to Chris Smith. Bolazar gets Ratchy.
Nice shot by Bolazar.
Bolazar does a fine job defensively there. An errant pass by Eric Ratchy.
Bolazar comes in, plays him tough defensively, and forces a turnover.
Again, they got to try to get it to Bobby Wright. Papanoff, turnaround jumper off the glass. Good, Ben Papanoff. And a lane violation against Port Huron High on the inbounds pass. They stepped on the line. Northern, who's come back with a strong effort substitution by Papanoff. Bolazar trail by 3 with under 2 minutes to go, and Northern has possession of the ball.
Troy Schneider had an open 15-footer if he squares up to the glass that time.
And again, what a lift Bolazar and Papanoff done since coming into the game.
Coach Dan Hanton looks like a hero right now with that call.
Papanoff on the rebound, turnaround jumper, it won't go. Right goes up, blocked from behind by Van Williams, and we've got a foul. The crowd can't hear the whistle, but the foul's on Van Williams, and Bobby Wright will go back to the line.
Very tough call that time. Looked to me like Van Williams got nothing but ball.
Coach Jim Early will use his last timeout with 1:37 to go. Try to freeze Bobby on the free throw line. Again, Bobby hasn't had the best of nights from the free throw line, but 2 big ones here as Northern trails by 3 with 1:37 to go in the ball game.
Bobby Wright shooting 44% for the free throw line, under a 50% free throw shooter. That is his one weakness. All right, what I want to point out is that finally, with just under 2 minutes left in the ball game, Northern hit the glass that time. They had 3 opportunities to score. Any things are bound to happen. Throughout the rest of the night, High has controlled the glass. There's been no second chance opportunities for Northern. That's the first one, and it's given them a chance to get within one.
Well, I think I can't say enough about the play of Carl and Van Williams, but I think they've got to be a little tired. They played most of the second half, where Northern has substituted a lot more, at least on the big men, and I think that was Van Williams' fourth foul. Again, that just might be a little bit of fatigue here, but again, Northern big on the glass that time. Again, it's who wants it worse now with a minute 37 to go.
Yeah, there might be a three-point lead right now for Port Huron High. But I think you can almost throw that away right now.
In and out. Bobby Wright unofficially 1 for 6 from the free throw line here tonight. Bobby splits the pair, cuts a deficit to 2. Nice defense again by Northern. There's the man you want to get in the hands with.
That's right.
Wide open underneath is Carl Williams. Good foul. Very good foul by Ben Papinoff because Carl Williams is going to jam that one home. And again, Northern not over the limit, so all it is out of bounds. So smart play that time by Ben Papinoff. Let me tell you a little side note. I'm a good friend with Ben's father, Doug Papinoff, who's an outstanding athlete a few years back when Port Huron Catholic wasn't signed. I know the gene pool is passed down a lot because Ben's doing a fine job here tonight.
Excellent job. Really came in, gave his team a lift with just under 2 minutes to go. Big steal, Snyder.
Snyder and Papinoff stay on the thing. They go for the tie. Elfie Smith. They step back good. We're tied at 49 with a minute to go. No need to foul that time. No need to foul. That will put Northern over the limit, I believe, in the 1-on-1 situation. Not a good foul that time, I don't think, by Troy Snyder. One of the few things Troy hasn't done well here tonight.
Well, the one thing is, though, Randy, neither team has shown a propensity to shoot the rock from the free throw line tonight. Maybe it will end up to be a pretty good play. But right now, though, the problem that Port Huron is having is getting the ball across half court. They're getting flustered. They're not getting into their offensive flow. The Northern draft is totally taking them out of their offensive set.
Bolazar checks out. Bill did a fine job defensively in his short sprint as Bear comes in to get more offensive punch. It won't go. Tight fight for the rebound. A jump ball, a no call. Possession arrow favors Port Huron High. Again, Port Huron High out of timeouts. Northern with 1 remaining. Again, if you're High, I would milk the clock here on either team and hope for the final shot. You got nothing to lose except to send it into overtime. Again, free throws so important here tonight. The team just cannot come up and hit them.
I don't think Northern's going to allow them to freeze the ball here. I just think they played too tough a defense to allow that to happen. Excellent move by High, rather.
Looks like Northern wants to foul. Again, Northern not trying to play for the tie, playing for the win. Is going to send Miller to the line to give them a chance to win it at the buzzer. And again, depending on whose side you're sitting on, a good call.
Oh, an excellent call that time by the referee. Miller has struggled for the free throw line tonight, and this is where it really counts.
And a big free throw there by Tony. Let's see if the strategy pays off. That's a gutsy call by Dan Hinton. You could tell that they wanted to foul somebody. 1 out of 2. Happen on the rebound. Northern will have a chance to win it if they can hit the shot. 35 seconds to go. Nice pass underneath. What a block by Van Williams. Wide open. David Bear wide open for the layup. And Van Williams came across and swatted it out of bounds. Oh, High crowd on their feet with that one. What a play.
Van Williams, that may be the defensive play of the year so far.
Papinoff loses it. Now Northern will have to foul.
Keep the ball in the hands of Keith Cates.
And Case will go to the line. Again, a good foul. Northern
Northern. Just an excellent play. You got to remember, too, Van Williams is playing the entire second half. He has not taken a seat.
And again, we'll see how big these free throws are. He gets the roll. Again, Northern still in this ballgame. A lot of time, 23 seconds to go. They only trail by 2, and that's what makes high school basketball so exciting with that three-point play. He gets the ball. Northern will use their last timeout, and they're going to have to set up for the 3. The 3 or the quick 2, David.
You know, I would almost think about the quick 2. Get the ball in quickly to Bobby Wright. Let him slice through the bucket. If he gets it too great, he may pick up a foul on the way, which he often does. If you get the point, when Northern, or rather when High brings the ball back in bounds, you get the quick foul, take your chances that they're going to miss the free throw, and then you've got the final shot for the win.
Well, Coach Dan Hand planning his strategy on the offensive end as Coach Jim Early plans it on the defensive end with 23 seconds to go in the ball game. We'd like to thank our camera crew tonight, men and women who did a fine job. Our director, Charlie Cincy, a fine job as usual. And again, everyone else associated with the Channel 6 broadcasting team. Again, 23 seconds to go. 52-49 our score. Fort Ewing High by 3.
Full court pressure by the Big
The
Reds.
other thing, David, is Fort Ewing High has one foul to give before Fort Ewing High gets in the 1-and-1, so they can go ahead and intentionally foul, and it's not going to hurt them.
Excellent, excellent observation. Good call.
And it's not going to hurt Fort Ewing High. Again, that's only the 16th foul. It takes 7 to put them in the 1-and-1. And in fact, David, maybe that's the strategy. Why not foul somebody from Fort Ewing Northern, make them come in the 1-and-1? Again, they need 3. They don't need 2.
Just got to be careful with it, though. Make sure they're not shooting the three-pointer. Make sure that they're not going up with a shot in close range.
They're going to have to look. They're going to look for the quick 2. Goes up and good. 10 seconds. They're going to have to foul. He's definitely got a foul. We've got a stoppage in play. Nice basket there by the senior Bear. 52-51. Again, we knew it was going to be close. Everybody on their feet. Nobody's sitting down except David and myself here in the audience tonight. Gates, who hit the last 2, comes back up again. He gets that one to go. Keith wants it badly. But again, Northern can still tie or win, depending on this free throw. That one in and out. Big rebound by Van Williams. Carl Williams. Carl Williams puts the game out of touch. Even a 3 won't do it on a tip-in. The shot's going to be short. And that's the ball game. Carl Williams on a missed tip. Put Fort Ewing High up by 4. And there was nothing Fort Ewing Northern could do. As Fort Ewing High comes away, steals one on the home court of Northern with a score of 55-51. Just an excellent game, David.
What a ball game. What can you say? I think the difference, Big Reds on the glass. Northern just couldn't compete with them down low. That was the difference in the ball game.
Well, again, we thank our audience for joining us. We thank our camera